I was actually a teacher for 8 years before I became a mother. I waited 9 years to have a baby. Because of my husband, he did not want to have a baby yet. And finally, when he was ready, I became a stay-at-home mom, and I worked part-time. So I understand affording food on a budget, because food is hard to afford if you're only working part-time, or if you're missing an income. So here we go. This is how I used to look before I had a baby. I had time for fancy things like straightening my hair and deciding if I wanted to have curly hair. I tried Botox once, don't ever do that again. I did things that I enjoyed. I was happy. I did musical theater. I was a singer. And I had my son. And here we go. I know I'm poking fun at myself, but for real, you understand. Just by the look on your face. It's a special desperation. Oh yeah, I sent that to my hairstylist. She was like, I don't know what I can do to help you. Okay, so the symptoms that Colleen and Sherry talked about, to sum it up, those are the symptoms that my son had also. I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about them because they're the exact same things that Colleen and Sherry both said. To add to that, my son had a lot of violence and aggression. It was a lot of physical aggression towards us and other people. And we're always protecting ourselves from getting something broken, from chipping a tooth, from breaking our nose. We don't want to be injured, but that was the reality of our home life. My husband's very gentle, and I am pretty easygoing. I'm pretty chill. And so it was hard for me to accept and say, what happened? I don't know what I did wrong to have this happen in my life, to have a violent child. So these were the symptoms, and I'm sure that, raise your hand if your child or yourself has experienced any of these. I was desperate, and I did a Google search like Sherry did for potentially removing dyes. Maybe dyes are the thing. I'm going to try that. And I stumbled upon Dr. Feingolds' paper. I read all 37 pages of it, or however many pages of it. And I did join the Feingold Association because I was desperate. And I really appreciated the support I got from the Feingold moms. I got mentoring and a lot of wisdom. I had never made my own gummies before. I always just bought popsicles. I didn't know you could just make your own. So I started making my own popsicles. I attempted bread, and then I got good at it. I learned things that I had never known before because I grew up eating a lot of processed food, and I didn't think there was anything wrong with it. So Feingold helped me tremendously. It helped me gain a lot of wisdom. I did take it further than Feingold because my son was having a reaction one day, and I said, I went on the message board. I said, I don't know what's going on. He ate pears. You know, on Feingold, stage 1, we don't eat apples because apples are high in sal. So I said, I gave him pears. I don't know why he's having a reaction. I was frustrated. I'm doing everything I can. And one of the moms said, well, were they organic pears or were they conventional pears? And I was like, I don't know. It was a pear. I got it at Walmart. I wanted to get the best price pear, so I would find the cheapest produce that I could find because I was on a budget and I was trying to save money. And I didn't know that there were invisible pesticides on the food. That one question spun me into a huge amount of research. And I'm very grateful that she asked. After that, I saw Robin O'Brien's TED Talk. Raise your hand if you've seen that. It's called Patriotism on a Plate. If you haven't seen it, it's 17 minutes. It's worth 17 minutes to watch it. It's Robin O'Brien, Patriotism on a plate or of a plate. So I started with Feingold, and I did see a lot of improvement. My son stopped having the night terrors. He stopped wetting his bed. We were able to cope a little bit better. And so I transitioned into now starting to remove pesticides because I learned, oh, I think these pears might be sprayed with something. Let me check that out. So I started to research pesticides. I heard people mention GMOs, and I was like, oh, why are these people obsessing about this thing, GMO? It's annoying. Stop talking about it. Like, that was me being real. Why do they keep talking about this GMO thing? I don't know what it is. And so I even unfollowed some pages because I was like, I don't want these people to keep talking about this GMO thing. I went and unfollowed, and finally, after I stumbled upon the pesticide issue, I researched and dug, and I found out that maybe I should start paying attention to what GMOs are. So I have some notes here. Let me get myself situated. Hold on. Okay, so what I learned in researching what GMOs are is that the seed of the plant has been engineered to contain its own pesticide, so that when the bug attempts to eat the plant, the bug's stomach explodes and it dies. A lot of people say, well, I'm not a bug. I'm a whole lot bigger than a bug. But similar things are happening to us. We're having a lot of gut issues. Raise your hand if you know somebody with Crohn's, with colitis, with anybody have any other gut issues you want to call out? Irritable bowel. Right. So we are not a bug, so it doesn't immediately make our stomach explode. It does tear the lining of our stomach, and it does contribute to the leaky gut. So, yes, these seeds are patented as pesticides and engineered so that they can be sprayed heavily with weed killer. Now, as I'm talking, I know you're probably like, oh, great. She's going to say a bunch of horrible things that are going to make me feel bad, and now I'm not going to be able to eat anything ever again. And that is not my goal. My goal is to share with you so that you can research on your own, and I don't want to Debbie Downer you. I want to be able to just be honest and say, this is what's going on. It's worth looking into. So I may say some things that are alarming, but it's not to scare you, and it's not to make you feel like you can't eat anything. And if you start to feel that way, just take a step back and say, that's not her intention. The intention is to inform you so you know, because I didn't know. And I wish that somebody would have told me. So like I mentioned, genetically modified organisms, that means that the seed of the plant has a pesticide growing within it. The EPA regulates this as a pesticide. Not a lot of people will tell you that, but it's regulated as a pesticide by the EPA. This is the EPA's website. At the very, very top, there's a blue bar. It says pesticides, regulating pesticides. And then if you scroll down the page, it's called BT corn. And those are the patents of BT corn. I took a photo of it about 2 years ago. I took a screen capture because I wanted to be able to prove to people and say, no, it is a pesticide. And if they didn't believe me, then I could say, well, here's the EPA's website. It says pesticides. And even at the top of the column, it says plant incorporated protein, plant incorporated protectant. What do you know? The EPA went and changed their website because I started posting it everywhere. So weird. So they changed it, and they took off the word pesticide. They took off the word regulating pesticides, and instead they said, oh, ingredients used in pesticide products. They kind of tamed down the language, and then a little bit smaller it says pesticide registration numbers. I'm not sure why they took off pesticides, regulating pesticides, but I know that the website has been changed. I wrote them and let them know I wasn't happy about that. They didn't write back. It's okay, I send a lot of people to their website, so even if they don't write back, they still feel a lot of love from me. What I get to do is I get to make graphics and teach people what's happening, so we share it with lots of people. So even if the EPA changes their website, that is okay, because we're going to keep going and keep teaching people what's happening. This is an example of something. It's very simple, but it's a simple way to teach people that corn is patented as a pesticide. Even if they'll think, oh, maybe, what is that? Even if just in the back of their head, what does that mean? Corn's patented as a pesticide? So, yes, do you have a question? The majority of corn in the United States, like 87% of corn, is GMO corn. There are some people who are now rejecting it and saying, I'm not going to do this anymore, and there are people who grow organic corn. So this is how the seed is engineered. These seeds are engineered to withstand being sprayed heavily with weed killer, and everything around them dies, but the plant doesn't die. Now, what does that tell you? The plant has absorbed that. It's not like it just went ahead and washed off. It absorbed into the plant's tissue. The weed killer that is used is glyphosate, and it's patented as an antibiotic. So the seed is engineered with an insecticide to be sprayed with a patented antibiotic that also chelates minerals and metals, which is alarming considering the fact that many of our children are metal toxic. I don't want the metal in my son's body to be then magnetized more so. A lot of farmers are inappropriately spraying it. They're spraying it on more crops than just genetically modified crops. They're spraying it on everything pretty much. The reason that we are concerned is because I work in social media for nonprofits, so many of my clients are testing the food. They're sending it to the lab, and then they're publishing the results. We're finding it in urine. They're finding it in breast milk. Finding it in the rain water. One of my clients tested wine recently. I'm sure you saw the report. They tested 10 bottles of wine. It was in the wine. Another client tested Kellogg's Fruit Loops. It had BT corn, insecticide corn, and it had glyphosate, which is the weed killer. And what they do is they publish the results. So then the public goes, that's strange. That cereal's a weed killer. That cereal is an insecticide. I don't think I want to buy that anymore. And consumers then are stopping buying it because they're saying, I'm not going to buy this anymore if I can't trust Kellogg's. Another client, they tested Gerber Little Crunchies, which are for children. They're toddler food. That had insecticide, BT corn in it. They also tested it organic corn chip because a lot of people are wondering, well, is organic really organic? And it came back clean. It was a Trader Joe's organic corn chips. It came back with a very, very, very small amount, 0.9%, which is acceptable for the non-GMO project. And non-GMO project is very strict about what they accept. So the reason that glyphosate is a problem is because it's sprayed on the corn and the soy. It's sprayed on the crops that the cattle and livestock are eating. So it becomes a part of their tissue. It becomes a part of the cattle, their muscle tissue. I'll let you read that. I'm not going to read it to you. So which crops are genetically modified? I'm going to talk about each one. Again, not to scare you, but so you know when you're purchasing something, you'll be able to tell for yourself, even if it is not labeled. First, I want to start off with cotton. I get a lot of comments about cotton. Since I am a social media manager, I manage hundreds of thousands of people online, and I get maybe hundreds of comments a day that I have to read through. So you can imagine, I know what the public thinks about this. I get comments like, "That's so funny, I don't eat cotton. When's the last time you ate cotton?" And the strange thing about that is cotton is actually in our diet. Cotton plants are sprayed with herbicides, and cotton seeds then are fed to dairy cattle because they help fatten up the milk. So GMO cotton seeds are fed to dairy cattle. That is how it's getting through into our diets. Another way is through cottonseed oil. Cottonseed oil, if you look at the peanut aisle on Walgreens, the entire aisle is cottonseed oil. I wanted to take a picture of the whole aisle. I did take a picture of the whole aisle, but look for cottonseed oil, because what that means is that oil has been sprayed with herbicides and is now being applied to whatever peanuts are there. Another thing where cotton is concerned is cotton products are used in feminine care. Raise your hand if you heard about the testing done with pads and tampons and feminine hygiene products and gauze. The glyphosate weed killer has been found in feminine hygiene products. It's a problem because that's going into our bodies as women, and that's not acceptable. I don't want weed killer there. So sorry about the TMI. Sorry, not sorry. And then I do get a lot of comments. Well, must be nice. Cotton tampons are very expensive. I cannot afford that. There are alternatives. There are things like the cup. There are different ways you can research and find things that will meet your needs without exposing your body to glyphosate weed killer. Yes. Yes, organic cotton is not sprayed with synthetic pesticides. Oh, let me go back. I'm still talking about this slide. Soy. Okay. Most soy crops in the United States are genetically modified, 93%. Can somebody shout out soy derivatives, like something that you think of soy, like tofu, edamame? Ooh, miso, yes? Anybody have another one? Oh, there's soy milk, mayonnaise, there's soybean oil. There's a lot of terms for soy. It's 20 or 30. If you Google it, there's a lot of terms for soy. Soy is heavily sprayed with a patented antibiotic, and soy then is regulated as a pesticide. So if you are consuming soy, either way, if you eat soy, some people do eat soy if they're meat-free or if they're vegan. Make sure to look for organic soy, and that's the best way to avoid it. You may avoid soy completely, but if you are eating soy, you just want to make sure it's organic, and you can find organic soy because enough people have made a stink about it. You can find it. But if I am out shopping and I cannot find the organic soy, I will not buy it. Things like soybean oil are very, very common, and the name is changed. I'm not sure if the name has changed, so we won't know, or just because they wanted to come up with creative names for soy, but you want to know what that is. The next one is corn. We've already talked about corn, but I do want you to pay attention to other names for corn. Anybody have an idea of different things that corn is named? Maltodextrin. People with a corn allergy are very concerned with like other names of corn derivatives. But you're going to think of things like there's corn in everything. Corn chips, frozen corn, nachos. What? Ooh. Oh, fish food, pet food. Pet food, that's a whole different talk, by the way. Fructose. High fructose corn syrup, corn oil. Think about corn and all of the ways it's in your life. And I haven't cut out like products that have corn in it, but as far as food, I look for organic corn. I can find organic corn affordably. It's usually in the freezer section. The next one is canola oil. It's from rapeseed crops, and it's heavily sprayed. If you do buy a product, you want to make sure that it has organic canola, if you do eat canola. And then there are sugar beets. Sugar beets are very special because if you have, let's say you're drinking a soda and it says the word sugar on it, that is code word for GMO sugar beets. It's not cane sugar. If it just says plain old sugar, that's GMO sugar beets, and that product has been sprayed with glyphosate and is genetically modified. So when you're looking and you're shopping, you want to look for, I look for organic cane sugar or pure cane sugar. I want to make sure that I'm having, if you do eat sugar, there are many people who don't eat any sugar because you have issues with yeast or candida, or you're avoiding sugar. And then some of these other ones, the alfalfa is especially important because that can be fed to horses. That can be fed to, livestock that are sensitive to it. I know many horse owners now who learned the hard way and do not buy GMO alfalfa for their horses. Okay, so this is the part where I don't want you to hate me for telling you this. So just take it in. And then that's it. So this is the EPA's website. These are the crops that are sprayed with glyphosate. I'm not sure if you can see it. I wish I could zoom in a little bit more. Let's see. Oh, good, I can zoom in. Okay, I wonder if I can, there, I can zoom in and out. Are you able to see that that's everything? That's everything. Okay. And then we're going to go here. If you can look, this is being inappropriately used on our food supply. If you do want that document, I can email it to you. I don't have a website. I'm not that awesome yet, but don't have branding, none of that. But I can give you that document if you want it. I'm over at the Moms Across America table later on if you just want to drop off your email address. Okay, so this is a website that I want you to check out. It's called whatsonmyfood.org. The United States Department of Agriculture has a pesticide data program. Go figure. They swab produce and they count the number of pesticide residues that are found on our food. I'm actually impressed that they're doing that. The Pesticide Action Network has compiled a website called whatsonmyfood.org, and we can search it. Here's the website. If you notice to the very, very right-hand corner, you can select a food. See, it starts with asparagus, avocado, baby food carrots. See right there? You can select anything, and then it comes up with how many pesticide residues are found on that product. So I did a search for grapes. You want to take a guess? Take a guess how many pesticide residues are found on grapes. Do you want to take a guess? Okay, somebody said 8. And 40? Who else has a number? 100? Okay, here we go. 56. That is not acceptable by any stretch of anyone's imagination, ever. Okay? So, what I like to do is I go on what's on my food and I search, and then I make a little graphic, and then I go share it out to a few 100,000 people. Okay? Because I want people to know this is happening. And if you know, then you can make a decision yourself, and that's okay. Because I don't pressure people to be perfect and to say, you have to right this minute remove every pesticide from your diet. Because that's just not feasible. It's not even feasible for me, and I try very hard. Okay, so what can you do, though? You can decide, I'm going to try to gradually reduce the pesticides that my family's exposed to. It does not have to be fast. Like Sherry said, it takes time. It took time for Feingold. It took me 1 entire year to switch over mostly to organic when I started, because I still didn't understand everything that organic meant. When people said organic, I was just like, well, that must be nice to be able to be rich and afford organic food. So awesome. And I was really wrong in thinking that, but I didn't understand. And now I understand that organic just means that it has not been grown with synthetic pesticides, antibiotics, hormones, and I know that I am reducing the pesticides that my family's exposed to. Yes, there can be cross-contamination with organic. There can be. But it's not a perfect process, but I try my best. And no, I'm not judgmental about people who can afford organic anymore, because I understand it's not for rich people. It's for people who just don't want to eat 56 pesticides. Really. Okay, so there are solutions, and I have a lot of solutions, and I'd like for you to brainstorm also with people that you know or with each other, even a stranger next to you right now. Many Americans go out to eat 1 to 4 times a week, fast food. For me personally, when I was a teacher, let me just tell you what I did. I ate cafeteria food every day. That included turkey tetrazzini, all kinds of random grade D, questionable meat, tater tots, canned corn. I ate all the nonsense because I didn't know. I ate out lunch every day. Sometimes I would stop on the morning to school and get a McDonald's sausage biscuit. My husband and I ate out maybe 3 or 4 times a week. A lot of people do because we're busy. I'm working full-time now, and I'm staying home full-time with my son. So that means that I don't have a lot of time, and I understand the need to eat out. When you're hungry and you need food, it's important. You need food right then. Sherry mentioned planning ahead. It's important. A lot of what I do is I cook ahead. I'll make 10 waffles on Sunday, and I'll freeze all 10 of those waffles, maybe so that we'll have waffles for the week. Or I might make 20 pancakes and freeze them in a freezer bag. But you're saving money if you're cooking at home versus eating out. Eating out is a lot more expensive. This is an example of my son's stage 2 Feingold, so we can add oranges back in, but and he's not gluten-free. So I cut up a part of a pear, a little bit of banana. I don't usually give him the packaged cheese sticks. I buy the block of cheese, and I'll just cut off a piece of that because it's less expensive to buy the block of cheese than it is to buy the prepackaged. This is Trader Joe's. They have gluten-free pasta that's also organic, which is very hard to find gluten-free and organic in the same product. Can anyone attest to this? It's very, very hard. It's either gluten-free or it's organic. And you're like, well, what about people who want both? What I say to that is, people pressure works. If you contact the company enough times and you say, I might send this product to a lab secretly. I have this friend, and she knows a lot of people, and we might send it to a lab, and if it has pesticides in it, we're going to publish that. I would love it if you would create an organic product that's also gluten-free. If you are gluten-free and you want that, we contact companies all the time. I tweet at them daily. And eventually, after I tweeted them enough times, and after all of the followers tweeted them, they come out with an announcement and they go, we've decided to offer an organic line. That's so funny. How much money did you lose before you decided to do that? So Trader Joe's has organic and gluten-free pasta. That was my whole point of that. And it's not expensive. It's pretty affordable, $1.99. I also, this is a horrible picture, I know you can't even see. This is frozen organic produce from Whole Foods, starting at $1.99 for the bag. That's affordable. And a bag of frozen organic vegetables, I can use that for 1 or 2 meals. Sometimes I'll use part of it if I'm making chili and I'm not going to dump the entire bag of corn in there. I'll just use a little bit of it because I don't want to waste it. But if I buy the name brand, I'm going to be spending $4 for the bag. Or if you're at a health food store really far away from any other stores, it's even more. They end up hiking the price up, and it's upsetting, especially when you're trying your best to afford food and you're in the grocery store and you're like, really? Really, that's so strange. Butter is $6.25 here, and then I can get it for $4.99 over there. Well, that makes me upset. Why are you trying to charge extra? So I do try to find the best price I can for organic food. 365 Organic is the store brand for Whole Foods if you have a Whole Foods near you, and the prices are better. I'm not sure which grocery store. I live in Florida, so I have different grocery stores than you. I don't have a Sprouts. Who has a Sprouts? I'm jealous of you. Yeah. What other grocery stores are you finding that have the food you need that's affordable? Walmart is carrying some organic food. They are. You have to dig and you have to know what you're looking for, and you have to ignore the other stuff, so it might mean you have to go shopping by yourself. But I do find stuff at Target. You want to know Aldi? $5.99 for a pound of organic beef. At Trader Joe's, that same organic beef is $7.49. At Whole Foods, that's gone to $8.99, and sometimes $10.99. I complained to them once. I was like, are you guys serious? $10.99? Really? I will not buy it from Whole Foods because I'm not doing that. I'm not playing that game. I did go to Aldi, and I went just to buy a few items. I didn't fill my whole cart. Costco has a lot. It's $5.50 a pound, I think, or if you do eat beef, organic beef is $5.50 a pound, and you have to buy 4 pounds. So what I do is I get home and I divide that up into 6. These are organic corn tortillas. They're 99 cents. Now, I'm not sure if these are gluten-free, but if you are not avoiding gluten, it's a really easy way to make a little roll-up. So this is my contact information. If you do have a question, you can email me. On Instagram and Twitter, I'm at Mama Grondahl.